Now that we've looked at regular cash flows, let's look at growing cash flows. So growing cash flows are cash flows that grow at a certain rate. For instance, they can grow by 5%, by 10%. When calculating the present value, we need to take that into account. Okay? So let's start with the perpetuity. A growing perpetuity is a stream of cash flows that occur at regular intervals and grow at a constant rate forever. Okay, remember, perpetuity is something that goes on forever. Now, as you can see in the formula for the present value, now we need to take into account G, the growth rate, which is why we multiply the cash flows by their growth rate to the power of whichever period it is. Okay? Now we can summarize the stream of cash flows as the sum of the cash flows times their growth rates over the interest rates, because we need to discount it. Therefore, we can summarize the present value of a growing perpetuity as equal to the cash flow over the interest rate minus the growth rate. Okay, so this is the formula for a growing perpetuity. Now let's apply it to this exercise. This exercise reads, a rich relative has bequeathed you a growing perpetuity. The first payment will occur in a year and will be $2,000. Each year after that, on the anniversary of the last payment, you will receive a payment that is 4% larger than the last payment. This pattern of payments will go on forever. If the interest rate is 11% per year, what is today's value of the bequest? So, the key thing here is, first of all, to notice that because it says it goes on forever, we know it's a perpetuity. Okay, even though I also mentioned in the question. But if it didn't mention perpetuity, we know it's a perpetuity because it goes on forever. Now let's write down what we know in order to use the formula. First, we know that the cash flows, denoted by C, are $2,000. We know they grow by 4%, right? So G, the growth rate, is 4% because it says you will receive a payment that is 4% larger than the last payment each year, okay? And finally, the interest rate we know is 11% per year, okay? So remember, the formula for the present value of a growing perpetuity is equal to the cash flows over R minus G. Therefore, in this case, we simply write down everything that we know. So we know the cash flow is 2,000. The interest rate is 11% in decimal places, that's 0.11, minus the growth rate, which is 4%, so 0.04. And if you plug this into the calculator, you should get that the present value of this perpetuity is 28,571.43. And so this is today's value of the bequest. And this is how to calculate the present value of a growing perpetuity.